Hey, sorry, I'm back. This is the actual VCR of Murder Was the Case. This was released in '94. It's a mini movie, so if you haven't seen that, I would suggest you check it out. It's actually got Tupac in it. He was the sniper. I won't spoil too much of it, but yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I mean, back in the day, it would have cost probably $1 million to make. These days, you could probably make it on your phone, but Calvin Brodus, that's Snoop's original name. This was before, I think, before or after he caught the murder case. One of them. I don't want to bring negative stuff up anyway. So, yep. So Snoop Dogg murder was the case. This is the original VCR. There's the barcode there. It goes with the CD. It's also released on DVD. It's not released on Blu-ray. I'm not sure why. Snoop, now he owns Death Row, he should get onto that, because I wouldn't mind watching it on Blu-ray, and he should just put a lot of special features in it, or behind the scenes or whatnot, you know what I mean? It'd be pretty cool to check out. Okay, moving on. In '94, Dog Food, Dog Pound album, another classic. Executive produced by Suge Knight and Dr. Dre, but the main producer was Daz. Out of Daz and Corrupt Dog Pound. This is featuring the song New York, New York, which people say it started the East Coast, West Coast war, because in New York, New York, you can see it at the back there, when they were shooting a music video, or before that, the East Coast, New York didn't take, they thought they were dissing them, so they went to New York to shoot a video for it, and they actually got shot at. Something to do with Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. Said, Death Row's here, can someone get to him? And they got shot at. No one got hurt, thank God, but yeah, that's a bit of history for you. So this is the re-released version. I'll show you the barcode so you know what you're buying. I'm not sure when the re-release one was released. I think it was, like the rest of them, 98, I suppose. Oh wait, no, these are both original. I've got another re-release, so same barcodes. I've got a re-release one, or it might be a bootleg. That's what I didn't include it in here. Alright, moving on, we've got the Lady of Rage. This is very hard to find, this CD. Executive produced by Suge Knight. It's got 14 tracks. I think it's Shell Shock was and Afro Puffs was the main song to this. I think this is Afro Puffs is on this. Okay, this is her second album, I think. Yeah, this is second album. So this was brought out in '97. Still with Death Row. Necessary Ruggedness. There's the barcode. Pretty good album. I heard Lady of Rage just took a long time to write. She was the opposite of Tupac. She just took her time, but it is a good album. You would have heard Lady of Rage the first time with Afro Puffs. That was her original song, that her first song she ever came out with. Pretty good song. Good MC. Okay, now switching. This is not Death Row. This is Warren G's first album, G-Funk Era. He produced this by himself. He was never signed to Death Row, but this went 5 times platinum or something like that. And everyone knows this is Dr. Dre's stepbrother. Very good. Regulator. So Regulators came out on this. It first was on the Above the Rim soundtrack, and then it was released on Warren G's album, Regulators, featuring Nate Dogg. Very good song, his most famous song. And it's also got This DJ. What else did it have on it? What's Next? Every song on this is cool. You can tell he's freestyling in a lot of it too. So Regulate, Warren G, another classic from that era. I've also got a couple of Warren G other CDs DVDs. Them, I'm not going to go into them just because I don't really feel like it. Okay, now we'll step onto something pretty cool. As I showed you the Chronic Death Row, the Chronic that was released in '92, 2000, year 2000, Dr. Dre was at it again, or 1999, I think it actually was. Came back with the Chronic 2001. This is still sealed. This is the VCR, and they'd done the Up and Smoke tour, which was like the big world tour they done for the actual album. If you haven't checked this out, this is one of the best shows I've ever seen, hip hop show I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the only thing that tops it was the Michael Jackson live show. I didn't go to, my older brother went to it, but yeah, there's nothing that compares to this tour. Like, just everyone was on an Ice Cube, West Side Connection, Bone Thugs, you name it, they were there. So this is the original VCR. There's the barcode there, still sealed in mint condition. I wish I had this sign, but I'll show you something else. Not as good, yeah, on par as good. So with this, I've also got the DVD release, still sealed, and then also they brought out a remastered edition, the classic edition. So okay, so going with this, where it started was actually the Chronic 2001 album. This was 1999. They were gonna call it Chronic 2000, but Suge Knight brought, when Dre, this is the second album, when Dre left Death Row, so he was gonna call it Chronic 2000, and then Suge Knight with Death Row, the owner of Death Row, Dr. Dre was part owner, released a double CD called the Chronic 2000. So he stole his name. He got word of the name that Dr. Dre was going to call this, and he stole it. So Dre decided just to call it 2001. There's the barcode. This was when you first heard Eminem come into like his new voice. It was different than the Slim Shady EP. It was more like the Marshall Mathers style, and followed by the, I think they came out kind of the same time, was 2000. This might have came out just before, yeah, 99. So Eminem released Marshall Mathers LP in 2000. So there's another copy of it. You can never have too many copies of this CD. It's so good. Executive produced by Mailman and Dr. Dre. Okay, so this is something special. This is what I was going to show you. This is the CD, but it's signed by, as you can see, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Warren G, Snoop, and Eminem. So it's signed by all of them. And who was it? I think it's Nate Dogg down the bottom. Rest in peace. So this CD is signed by all of them, and I'll show you how I got it. So and that tour, these are the VIP passes, which are signed by all of them as well. This is in a case. So this is signed by Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Warren G, Eminem, which he signed it as Slim Shady, and Snoop. What's better than that? Having two of them. This, you can see, it's Dr. Dre's autograph, Snoop's, Warren G's, Ice Cube's, and Slim Shady down there. VIP tickets. So I've got the two of them autographed. A bit of a grail if you ask me. So moving on was the first release of Aftermath when Dr. Dre left Death Row. It's called Aftermath, self-titled album. This was released in '96. It's got 16 tracks, executive produced by Dr. Dre. It's featuring RBX, Dr. Dre, Mailman, No Eminem on this. King T. It was a flop, so it flopped. I liked it. The Dr. Dre was been there, done that. Pretty good song, but for some reason it just didn't sell, and that's Aftermath. And it was released by Aftermath, obviously, first album for the record label and Interscope. But it just flopped. So when it flopped, he signed Eminem, and then he brought out Chronic 2001, and that's when Eminem blew up, and Aftermath was the record label. Yeah, so I also forgot to show you the cassette tape of Doggy Style. This is the same thing. It's got the bonus tracks what they had to release. G's up, hose down, and the next episode. So this is original cassette tape. It's actually open, it's not sealed, but there's the barcode. Sorry, I'm jumping around. And there was the cassette tape for Murder Was the Case too. The original. And then this is something special I'll show you. So if everyone's heard of the DOC, he done a lot of writing for Snoop, Dr. Dre, NWA. Like he was the man at the time. This album here is pretty special because the DOC released this, I think it's 89, 89. So, and this is signed by the DOC. And then after this, while this album was out, he had a pretty bad car accident, and it caused him to lose his voice. He went through the window of his car, and yeah, he lost his voice, so he couldn't make albums after that. I think he made another album, but it was with his voice actually tainted, like it was damaged. But this is where it started. I mean, it's, if you ask anyone, he was before his time. Eminem loves this album. You can see a lot of it. His style in lyricist at the time, he was above anyone. Okay, bouncing around more. Death Row Christmas. It's just like a Christmas album they made. Yeah, there's the cassette tape. No, it's featuring all of Death Row, so if you can name him, they're on here. It was a pretty good album. I wasn't too fussed with it. Okay, now my favorite Corrupt solo album. He wasn't with Death Row here, but it's called The Street. The Streets is a Motherfucker, and it's actually signed by Corrupt. Daz Dillinger and Joe Marone executive produced it. I'd like to say this. When was this released? This was released 1999. So I think this was the first album when he left Death Row that he released. Okay, now bouncing around more. DJ Quick. He was a kind of a part of Death Row. On Murder Was the Case soundtrack, he had the most famous song that he was known for was Dollars and Cents. It was a diss track towards MC8. Very good, very underrated producer. He's one of the best, and also he rhymes too, so he's both. This was released in 91, so that goes to show how long he's been in the game for, and he's still relevant. Quick is the name. And then his second album was The Way to Funky. Way Too Funky, and this was released in 92. 12 tracks, produced by DJ Quick. Now this is the album that he was most famous for, well, in my opinion. 95 this came out. So this is Safe and Sound. This had the song Dollars and Cents on it. This track, what I was just talking about, to MC8. Awesome album. Mad production. He done it all. That's when he started finding his new style. It was like a more modern style compared to the other two albums. Such a good album. And that he was hanging around Death Row a lot, so that's why I threw it in there. Okay, then his fourth, I'd like to say, album, released in 98. This is Revelism. Pretty good album. Again, he's self-produced. He does it all. It's got 16 tracks. Awesome album. And then another bomb album by DJ Quick is Balance and Options. This was released in 2000. It's got 20 tracks. Just a very good album. And also self-produced by DJ Quick. Okay, now I'd like to get into who else have I got here for you guys. Okay, Exhibit. Actually, we'll start off with Exhibit, At the Speed of Light. This is his debut album. This was released in '96. Loud Records, Epic Records. This is before he got produced by Dr. Dre. This was his first album. It's the famous song Paparazzi on it, and people don't actually remember this, but in Machiavelli, Tupac, the Outlaws diss him on it. It was a quote: if you're not in it for the money, what the fuck you know, like, it was a shot at Exhibit. They didn't have real beef, it was just, I don't know, Pac was and the Outlaws were going at everyone. But that's depressing there. Exhibit's debut album. Then his second album was 40 Days, 40 Nights. This is a cracker album. I love this album. Featuring, I think it was the Golden State Warriors and the Alcoholics. Same Loud and Epic Records. This has 17 tracks and it was released in '98. Okay, his third album was, now he's with Dr. Dre. This album right here, Restless. This is when he blew up. This is when he started Pimp My Ride and whatnot. Done 7 seasons on Pimp My Ride, and I think he's releasing a new album under Greenback Records. So that's Conor McGregor's record label. I'd like to check it out. I'll buy the hard copy if he's going to release hard copies. I love Exhibit. He's a very good dude. Small story about him. That when he came to Australia for tour, he actually ate at our restaurant, one of our my restaurant I was working at. He got a T-bone steak. Medium rare. Okay, this is with still Loud Records and Epic, but it was executive produced by Dr. Dre, and you can hear the tracks on it which Dre produced. It's got his signature all over it. Okay, so that's his third album. Man vs. Machine, his fourth album. There's 2 of them there. Released in 2002, Loud Records. And this is the bonus. This copy here is the bonus. It's got 3 extra tracks, so 19 all up. Executive produced by Dr. Dre. This is the 2-disc one. This is the 2-disc one, sorry. Okay, so them 2. And then Weapons of Mass Destruction, released in 2004. This is executive produced by Exhibit himself, 16 tracks. And then he's also got Napalm, and I can't find it. I do have it, but I just can't find it. So Napalm was his release. I think that was 98, I'd like to say. Might be wrong. Okay, so Get Your Walk On. This was actually they sent these out to the DJs so they'd play them on air. It's a sample, it's a promotion use. I just like to throw it in there. They're pretty rare. But it's got the clean version, the album version, the remix, and the remix main. So there we go, that. Okay, that's probably all I want to show you right now. Also I've got this, the Dr. Dre Ace card sign. I just thought that was cool. You know, he says people try to be the king, but the ace is back. Touche. Okay, guys. Well, that's the Death Row collection. Dr. Dre and all of his people around him when he was working with in the 90s and 2000s. It's a bit of history there. As I said, I've been collecting for a long time, and I've got a lot of stuff. Check out my other videos and tell me if you like him. If you got any questions, just leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, as soon as I see him. But the next video I might do just a mix of a bunch of people. I've got a Bone Thugs collection, but they haven't released too much material, so I probably have to make that like this, like with a mix. And then I'll go into the classic East Coast albums, the New York albums, and then if anyone's got any, you know, ideas or ask if I got them. I got some Michael Jackson like memorabilia, which are pretty rare and like hand signed stuff. So if you want a request or something, just leave a comment. If you want to like and subscribe, you don't have to, obviously. But I hope you like it, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.